This is today's AEW Dynamite full show results video, which happened at Sames Auto Arena in Laredo, Texas, and the show started with the 8-man tag team match between Billy Gunn, Orange Cassidy, and the Acclaimed versus Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Sonya Dutt, and the result of this match was Billy Gunn, Orange Cassidy, and the Acclaimed won the match by pinfall with Scissor Me Timbers from the Acclaimed on Sonya Dutt. Then Bryan Danielson cuts a promo about how Maxwell Jacob Friedman can't last the hour the way he can, and we're informed that the champion is contractually obligated to appear on the show next week in Laredo. Then we saw a Texas Tornado tag team match between Blackpool Combat Club versus Preston Vance and Rush, and Adam Hangman Page was watching Jon Moxley from backstage, and the result of this match was Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli won the match by submission with a chain-assisted cross armbar from Jon Moxley on Preston Vance. Post-match, backstage, Butcher, Blade, and Kip Sabian attack Hangman Adam Page and leave him laying when Dark Order runs in to make the save. Then we saw a backstage interview of Wardlow with Jim Ross, where Wardlow said he was just starting wrestling and his dad was able to make it to his first show, and the only thing he could tell him to give him any peace was that he'd be a better man and he'd do right. And the next morning he got the call that his father passed, and he'd never grown his hair or his beard out, but seeing that get taken from his dad, he decided to grow it out. So when Joe cut his hair, he took Wardlow's connection with his father from him, and he tells Samoa to look in his eyes because he's never gonna be the same man again and he will not survive him. The next match happened between Josh Woods versus Mark Briscoe, and the result of this match was Mark Briscoe defeated Josh Woods by pinfall with Froggy Bow. Then Renee Paquette hosts a sit-down interview with Adam Cole, and he feels like there are a lot of chapters to his story he hasn't been able to explore yet, and he thinks the roster, top to bottom, has never been better, and he knows when he does come back he has to be as prepared as possible. He won't name names, but it's gonna be good for AEW and good for Adam Cole when he comes back. Back from the commercial, Maxwell Jacob Friedman is in the ring and on the mic and said he hates Danielson because he has these people convinced that he's better than MJF. MJF said he's not an idiot. At March 5th at Revolution, Bryan's gonna give him everything he has, and he's gonna use every trick he's picked up in Mexico, the UK, and Canada. But after those 60 minutes are up, Max will be victorious. But if you won't take his word for it, maybe you'll listen to a man that Danielson looks to as a mentor, the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels. And then Christopher Daniels comes, MJF hands him the mic and asks him to tell the truth about Bryan Danielson inside the squared circle. Chris begins, full disclosure, MJF paid him an obscene amount of money tonight to denigrate Bryan Danielson on national television, and there was a time in his life he would happily take the money and bury Danielson for hours. Chris said he watched Bryan win King of Indies in AEW in 2001, which directly inspired the creation of Ring of Honor Wrestling as a promotion, and ROH brought real pro wrestling to a fan base that was starved of it at the time, and he's confident that Bryan Danielson going to win the AEW World Championship. MJF swats the mic out of his hand and screams in Daniels' face that he's the best in the world, and Chris disagrees and tries to leave. Max pulls him in and slaps him. Daniels tells him not to ever disrespect him again, and MJF kicks him in the gentleman's area and puts salt of the earth on him, and then Bryan Danielson comes to save Daniels, and MJF runs. The next match happened between Brian Cage versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and the result of this match was Jungle Boy defeated Brian Cage by pinfall with a folding press. As Perry leaves, Christian Cage makes his entrance, arm still in a sling, and Jack rushes him, but Cage sprays him down with mace. He takes the sling off and then the elbow sleeve, and he chokes Perry out on the stage before hitting the kill switch. The next match happened between Hangman Adam Page versus Kip Sabian, and the result of this match was Hangman Adam Page defeated Kip Sabian by pinfall. Post-match, Blackpool Combat Club comes to the ring, and Jon Moxley says he knows Hangman thinks they have unfinished business, but he got his ass pinned last time, and Adam says he's not happy with their last match's result and he doesn't think Moxley is either. Moxley had hoped he'd have some friends to talk him into a smarter decision, but the emo cowboy ain't got no friends. And then comes Dark Order, and Evil Uno said to John that he is no afraid of him, and Moxley grabs the mic and challenges Hangman to a Texas deathmatch at Revolution, looking clean past Evil Uno. In the main event of the show, we saw a triple threat match between Dr. Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho versus Toni Storm, and the result of this match was Ruby Soho won the match by pinfall, and post-match, Jamie Hayter and Saraya were trying to convince Ruby to pick their sides, and the show goes off air.